Sydney.
And I'm Jalen. Welcome to Connected Cultures. This week we'll be looking into Tunisia.
This episode, we'll be looking into news, cooking, and an interview from Dr. Zara. But first, let's hear from Kayla as she talks about geography and traditions.
Tunisia is a country located in North Africa, a country that contains the northern part of the Sahara Desert and the eastern end of the Atlas Mountains. Bordered by Algeria to the west and Libya to the southeast, Tunisia is a country with a hot summer Mediterranean climate, with summer temperatures that can exceed 104 degrees Fahrenheit and winter temperatures that sit at about 68 degrees. It is home to nearly 12 million people and is one of the most visited countries in Africa, bringing in 9.4 million arrivals every year. One of the reasons Tunisia has become a popular tourist destination is because of all the historical attractions it offers, such as the ancient city of Carthage. This city had a large influence in the Western Mediterranean and was a major center of trade. Destroyed in 146 BC, the remains give visitors a glimpse of the location's rich history, a history that is spread throughout the country, with museums, such as the National Barter Museum, which are filled with large collections of marble sculptures, Punic jewels, Roman sarcophaguses, and much more. In Tunisia, you can also find the Eljam Amphitheater. This is one of the largest Roman amphitheaters ever built. The amphitheater was built in 238 AD and was designed to seat 35,000 people. It's the largest and best preserved Roman amphitheater in all of Africa. The Eljam Amphitheater is not the only Roman architecture that can be found in the country. Zagwen is a city that is presumed to be built on the ancient Roman city of Zika. Here you can find the Temple of Water. This is an ancient Roman aqueduct that supplied water to the city of Carthage. It flows 80 miles, making it the longest aqueduct in the Roman Empire. An important part of Tunisia is the capital city of Tunis. Tunis is the largest city in Tunisia and has about 2.7 million inhabitants. This is a vibrant city filled with history and local attractions. Here you can find several museums, the Tunisian Symphony Orchestra, the National Theatre of Tunis, various parks, and different festivals throughout the year. This is the center of many cultural and commercial activities within the country. Within Tunis is the neighborhood of Sidi Bou Said. This is a neighborhood with beautiful white and blue streets where many come to spend the weekend. With cliffside cafes and a large shoreline, it's not hard to see why. Sidi Bou Said is an interesting artistic town that is enjoyed by both locals and tourists. While many people visit Tunisia for their historical attractions, just as many visit for their deserts. People can take desert excursions and explore the Sahara and desert towns where movies, such as Star Wars, were recorded. In the Sahara Desert, there's a field of dunes called the Grand Erg Oriental. These dunes are about 400 miles wide and spill over into several different countries. It has been used for filming on several projects and may look familiar to some. There are many things that make Tunisia a special country. You can find a rich, vibrant culture within Tunisia. With beautiful historical attractions, architecture, and a vast desert, Tunisia is a country filled with so much to explore and learn.
Next, I got the chance to interview with Dr. Zara as she talks about her experiences growing up in Tunisia as well as teaching in Boone. Hi, I'm Jalen and I am a host of Connected Cultures. Here with me today is Dr. Salua Zara. How are you doing today, Dr. Zara?
I'm very good, thank you, Jalen. It's a beautiful day. I'm enjoying the weather, sunny, blue skies. I hope you're well too.
Definitely. It's a lot of sunny weather outside here today in Boone as well. And it's very enjoyable. What made you want to start teaching?
What made me want to start teaching? Okay, I think it's my calling. I think it's my love for school and education. It goes very far back in time. I remember ever since I was a child, I would set up my dolls, my teddy bears, and play teacher, play school, writing with the chalk on the door. After my mother has just mopped the floor. So I had a passion for teaching, you know. I like to work with the curious minds. I like to share knowledge, education, and I consider myself a lifelong learner. So, you know, it's a two-way street. I impart information and knowledge, and I teach how to think, but it's very rewarding, and I learn a lot in the process too.
I know for a lot of people, it's incredibly difficult on its own. to
Mm-hmm.
learn a second language. How was that learning not only a second, but a third and a fourth?
Yeah. Yeah, I'm wearing a t-shirt. It says Tunisia. I'm Tunisian. So that gives you an idea about what it looks like. It's fascinating. I enjoy teaching it a lot. And I came to upstate here, in terms of geography, it's very much like my hometown, the town where I was born in Tunisia. It's called Zagwen. And it's a small community, very close knit, mountain. And, so that's one aspect that made me choose upstate here. In addition to that, I felt that my teaching of Arabic would be needed here, you know,
Mhm.
in terms of curious minds and openness, and most importantly, the need for it. So I felt like I wanted to feel needed, to feel useful, and to contribute to the diversity of the place in the community and the college, both. So that was one reason behind my choice.
Well, I know that the community appreciates having you and
Thank
having
you.
you share your knowledge and just being here to help people learn more and especially learn a wonderful language such as Arabic. And it's phenomenal.
Mm-hmm.
What is life like in Tunisia?
Okay, life in Tunisia is different, very different in many ways. Okay, in terms of pace, even though it's modern and progressive and westernized, the pace of life there is more easygoing. It's not as hectic as here. It's punctuated by a lot of pleasurable activities. People like to sit, enjoy meals sitting down. So it's not as fast paced as here. So that's one point of comparison. But in general, life in Tunisia is peaceful and it's open minded. And it's very welcoming, very inviting. It's very pleasant, it's joyful. Tunisians are, as we say in French, bon vivant. They love the pleasures of life. We celebrate all holidays, our own holidays and Western Christian holidays. Any reason to celebrate, we jump on it, the merrier, the better. So Tunisians are very joyful. You feel that kind of joie de vivre in the streets from a simple conversation with people. Food is very delicious, very tasty, spicy. So there is a lot of street food. So walking in the street in Tunisia is very joyful. It gives you a sense of community. Conversation is very easygoing. You talk to people. You feel that everyone is kind of a member of a larger family. When you see an old man, you call him father, baba. You call him uncle. You see an old woman, you call her aunt. You call her mom. We use a lot of those endearing adjectives, those terms of endearment. So that sense of close human connection is one of the, marking traits of life in Tunisia.
How has Tunisia been impacted by COVID-19?
This is a very good question. Because in the very beginning, surprisingly, what people would not expect from, a country that's not as developed as the US or as a European country, I would say that Tunisia handled the crisis very well. We had someone at the head of the Ministry of Health whose name is Insaf bin Alaya, and she's been widely praised for how well, she took care of Tunisians, how well she handled the situation. So in the beginning period, let's say from March into the summer, Tunisia was leading the world in how well, we were dealing with the issue, the global crisis, and how much we had it under control. And, there is one cultural aspect that contributed to how well Tunisia was doing then, and that's the fact that the community is very close knit. We have a very high respect and care for our elders. And till now, I mean, the elderly, they are the most vulnerable fraction of society. So Tunisians, they love their elders. I'm not saying they love their elders more than other people elsewhere do, but there is this kind of warm and very, very strong concern and very strong protection for the elderly. For example, putting someone in nursing home is stigmatized. So old people, they live with the family. So people were very fearful for the elders and the vulnerable members of the community. So it made people very careful, very respectful of all the rules of wearing masks, social distancing, confinement, staying at home. So they did very, very well in Tunisia. Then came the summer, and there was a lot of pressure. It is understandable from Tunisians overseas. They wanted to come and visit. So the country opened the borders, and that gave Tunisia a kind of setbacks because there were a lot of infections. So the situation became kind of chaotic, but it's not as bad as elsewhere. So it's kind of mixed. In the beginning, it was excellent, but now it's very much like, many other places.
Well, that's incredible. It seems like Tunisia is known for a lot of things and that it has a lot of things to offer, ranging from its community, its culture, food, expiration dates,
Yes.
all of those wonderful things, and even cinema as well.
Mm-hmm.
And that's all the time that we have for today. But thank you so much, Dr. Zara, for not only offering your time, but also imparting us with knowledge about your culture and Tunisia as well.
Thank you very much for having me. Thank you for all the work you do. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Bye. Have a good day.
You as well.
Bye-bye.
Next, let's go to Nate, who is joined by Scott from NTAP as they chat and cook a traditional Tunisian dish.
I'm here with Scott Spicker. He is with Intap. Why don't you just tell us a little bit about Intap before we start?
Awesome. Yeah. So Intap is short for International Appalachian, and it is a club on campus that's affiliated with the Office of International Education and Development. And so we pursue 3 goals as a club. We encourage domestic students to study abroad. We welcome international students to campus, and we work to internationalize App State's campus. So kind of working with App TV and participating in this Connected Culture show is kind of under that 3rd goal that I mentioned, internationalizing campus. And so, yeah, I'm excited to make some brique with you today.
Me too. Yeah, so we have Scott joining us. He's going to help me out today. We're going to be making brique. It is a Tunisian dish. I believe it's usually made for street food, and it's very simple to make. It only requires a few ingredients, and yeah, I'm just going to get started. So the first things you will need is some parsley, some diced yellow onion, some tuna, and egg. And we also have some egg roll wrappers, which is a substitute I'm using for malsuka, which is just kind of another sort of wrapper that's very thin and good for frying it up. So right now I'm just gonna warm up the tuna, and I'm going to cook it with the onions and the parsley. And I'm not using any oil right now just because this is canned tuna, it's already cooked and there's already some oil there, so. But yeah, I know you had some stuff to tell us though, Scott.
Yeah, as I was kind of reading into this dish called brique, I thought it was really interesting. There was in 2012 an article from NPR, somebody who was doing kind of traveling in Northern Africa to various countries, and this person was trying like brique in Tunisia, and so the tuna that you're talking about and that you're using to make your brique there is really interesting. That it says, and from their experience, that Tunisian tuna is similar to like American tuna as espresso is to coffee. So you can imagine kind of that Tunisian tuna is really kind of packed with flavor, and it's a sort of similar flavor but much more concentrated. And so then you throw in the egg with it too, and so it's kind of this moist pastry that kind of can be messy, and you eat with your hands. And so some people will eat it with a knife and fork, but most kind of just eat it with their hands. And it's really just traditional Tunisian national food almost, just by how popular it is, and yeah, how many people just kind of eat it. Like you mentioned at the beginning, kind of like a street food. So pick it up and eat as you go.
Yeah, I'm very excited to try this. I know it won't be exactly the same as how they make it in Tunisia, but that's just something that I'm gonna have to try on my own. All right, so now I'm going to incorporate the parsley into the pan, and I'm very excited about this. I don't usually eat parsley, but it looks very good together. It makes a very nice color with it.
Yeah, absolutely. And Nate, as you can imagine, as we were kind of talking about the different varieties of, or just the difference in the maybe authentic Tunisian bourrique and the one we're making today, there's also kind of different forms of bourrique in Tunisia. And so what you're making with that egg, that'll be cracked kind of in that pastry and folded over, is seemingly the most popular form of the bourrique dish. But also some people, it says, kind of replace the egg for some form of meat to go kind of with the tuna. And so, of course, people making it very different ways, but the way you're making it there seems to be the most popular, which is cool. Yeah, I would be really interested to see kind of, the differences and maybe the kind of bourrique you could get at, neighboring shops kind of thing on the streets of Tunisia.
Yeah, I do like that a lot. I believe the recipe might have originated in Ottoman Empire, so I think it has branched out into other countries as well, at least the kind of origin of the recipe. So I think that's very interesting. But if that's wrong, I'm going to edit that out.
Yeah, well, it's really cool how food is so much intertwined with like history and culture, and how culture kind of has some things that are kind of stay the same and are consistent, but it's also kind of can evolve over time too.
For sure.
And food is so much a part of that.
It looks like everything is heated up as far as the filling. I think it looks really good.
Ooh, yum.
Yeah, I'm excited for this filling. All right, and now I'm going to get the oil heated up. Okay, so right now I'm going to be taking some spoonfuls of this filling and putting it in my egg roll wrapper. This is very exciting because I'm going to put a lot in. The recipe that I had looked up calls for around a couple tablespoons of the filling that goes inside the pastry. So, obviously it can be a liberal amount. It doesn't have to be too small. Well, it looks like the oil is all heated up right now. So I'm going to be adding in my pastry. I'm also going to be adding in the egg. So this is a tricky process, but I'm very excited to try. See if I can do it.
This is where your skill takes over, Nate.
Yeah.
You can do it.
Oh. Okay. So then you just kind of fry it on both sides. Ooh, eggs.
Generally, this dish is kind of pastry folded over to make a triangle shape, and just like Nate is doing, deep fried, and yeah, all mixed together to make this really yummy, sometimes gooey, probably more often than not, gooey pastry.
All right. I have the pastry. I'm going to put it down now and let the oil dry off a bit. But I am very excited. It looks so good. All right, I got the pastry right here. I'm very excited to try it. And I'm going to use a fork though, just because it just came off the pan.
Yeah, let it cool off a little bit. That's a good idea. One of my worst fears is burning my tongue.
Mm. That is very good.
Yum. Yeah, I'm jealous. Yeah, that looks really good.
Mm-hmm. I'm really glad I did this. Even if I had to substitute some ingredients, I thought it was a very fun dish to make, and I'm definitely going to be making it in the future.
Absolutely. I'm gonna have to make it as well. It inspired me.
Yes, good. Well, I'm really glad you joined me today, Scott. Thank you for being here and giving us some information about Greek as well as Tunisia.
Yeah, absolutely. It's been so much fun. Yeah. And thanks for having me on.
Yeah, of course. Thank you.
Thank you for watching. Join us April 15th at 10 a.m. to learn about Spain.
See you next week.